it might not be convincing, but some people might take it.
Well, just because the nature of, say, things like the universe and immortality
Yeah.
is so difficult to grasp, we have to speak of them in relation to one another. So
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if the universe is going to end. I haven't read enough about its origins to know for a fact it began or when, or if this just kind of popped in, or there's all sorts of different ways to explain it to each other. But in relation to this discussion at this moment, immortality does not necessarily have to mean one person or one physical entity existing in nothingness. So let's just say the universe ends. We're not saying that a true immortal is this, one guy hanging out in space just floating along, so much as it is in relation to all other terrestrial organs. People, plants, the earth itself. Maybe the immortal dies with the earth if the earth does just kind of burn out in its time, but who's to say that in relation to the people that he's around and surrounded by, that he's not an immortal?
Certainly.
So that sort of physical immortality, not necessarily this Man of Steel type of bullshit.
Well, yeah, and it's important to consider because a lot of us are talking about the Big Bang and the universe. Nobody in here, as far as I'm aware, is a physicist. At best, we're metaphysicists. But, you have to consider that, there's a lot of speculation that goes in. We're not working with entirely facts. I mean, some people obviously go with the sort of theory of, well, why did the Big Bang happen? You say, some people do the, God did it thing. And then some people might say, well, the last universe imploded. And that's why all the matter was kind of in one spot. And, and you could speculate lots of ways, but you could obviously say, okay, if somebody's physically immortal or indestructible or, that sort of bizarre Highlander idea that, unless somebody actually comes and chops off my head, I'm never going to die or get sick or anything. But, you could say, okay, they get compressed and then the next universe comes and they're alive still.
Well, just going back to the going back to the Highlander reference, though, you realize that's disingenuous, to say the least, or to be most charitable about that, because if you can kill someone, they're not immortal, at least in the term as I understand it. So if they do have to get their head chopped off, they're going to die somehow. All
they're pseudo-immortal.
Yeah, they have exceptionally incredible longevity. Yeah, they're ageless. But that's what we're talking about also right here. I mean, he's asking how does one define a physical immortal?
Right.
Well, no clue. I have no idea.
The only reason I used Highlander is a good point of reference because in the show/movie, unless their heads get chopped off, they come back to life every time. Anything. They can survive literally any incident. So, I mean, it's true if you want to be, if you want to be a little nitpicky, you could say they're only like pseudo-immortals because they have one bizarre weakness that can kill them. But, it's like they have to have their heads cut off by like on holy ground or something bizarre.
But it's a television show, so we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird lore there.
I was just trying to draw parallels between the fact that some people aren't exactly immortal when they claim they're immortal, or when we claim to understand them as immortal, and there's a difference between physical and relative.
True, and you were speaking on relative immortality.
That's
I lasted longer than you. You can't prove I wasn't immortal. Everybody else might as well. Thought I was yours as good as immortal.
Yeah, perception and reality in that respect, I guess.
All right, so I think now's a good time to move on to, I guess, we put a period on this now?
Yeah.
Is that where
I'm good.
Yeah.
I was doing it last time.
I do want to say something, but someone has to record it.
Let Kelly do
All right.
Yeah, I'll take the camera. Okay, you're welcome.
Just a final comment. In real life, we die, so death wins. That's all. That's it.
Kind of mixing topics. I also wanted to comment it. I can't help but think if we were, or if at least a significant number of people in the world were ageless, would we be paying more attention to environmental issues and so forth if it was actually going to affect us rather than future generations?
Earth Day!
Oh, yeah.
I still think it's ironic.
Let me just comment on the Earth Day thing real quick. Does anyone else find a designated day for Earth insulting to our intelligence? Because technically, not even technically, we live here every fucking day. Every day is Earth Day. Why?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Because some people are just not very environmentally conscious. They don't think about it. We need to make this designated day
But
to
those same
draw
people
attention.
aren't going to give a shit about it. I didn't even know it was Earth Day until people kept saying, Happy Earth Day.
You know what?
Yesterday was Earth Day.
I
Tomorrow's
completely
Earth
agree
Day.
with you, and I would at least say it was a good idea in theory, execution not so much.
Oh,
That'd
yeah.
be great.
Yeah, it seemed like a good idea at the time. I mean, believe me, I care about the Earth, but I have to agree with you slightly there.
It just seems as ridiculous as all these various colored ribbons for various causes. I mean, pink for this, red for that, brown, and multicolored, and the little puzzle piece one for autism, which I think is kind of insulting to autistic kids. But I mean,
They're missing a
yeah,
piece. Is that what you're saying?
there seems to be something that just isn't quite with them there. But yeah, it's
I think they were saying, we'll find the pieces of the puzzle and we will cure it.
but unless they're savants, they're not going to be able to do that.
I
They're just
think-
going to
well, no, I
be
don't
spinning
think-
around trying to calm themselves down because people are fucking scaring the shit out of them.
Well, no, I think they were talking about, like for doctors, but,
They're just as bad as autistic kids.
I really
Oh
think it's
my
like
gosh.
the minute I say we're gonna put a period on it, we get all this sort of immortal, sort of last minute longing to want to continue. Okay, but we're gonna try to convert this now into a discussion about making your own government. And so I kind of got a couple of gifts or surprises, just kind of make this, I guess, a little more of
Surprise.
fun and put some more spunk. Okay, I'm gonna Okay, so now we're going to try to make each of our own governments. So everybody's going to get the hot seat for a second. And what it basically is from the beginning, we start at the state of nature, which is, if anybody's ever taken a political philosophy class or read anything about Rawls and other philosophers that contribute to political philosophy, we start at basically, and you can construe it in any way you want, like an animal, a dog-eat-dog world, or a world with just inconveniences where people, there's the opportunity. There's the possibility where somebody could, since there's no mutual agreement between the two of you, there's no social binding agreement that you shouldn't steal or you shouldn't do certain things. There's no safeguarding your property, your food, things that are essential to, I guess, living and benefiting in a world and society.
My main question is just like, at least in the for the sake of this particular thought experiment or question you're asking us, are we considering this state of nature in this population as universal, as in there is no government anywhere worldwide and everyone is in the state of nature, or a particular population within the already civilized and governmental world is in the state of nature?
That's a good question. I think we should take a consensus on this one. What do you guys feel we should do?
I think start from a clean slate.
Clean slate?
Yeah, I think because the point of the state of nature is very much to say what the emergence of governments is, it's probably useful to say that there just is no government at this point anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody cool with that?
Yeah, and also you brought up Rawls, and I wanted to be more clear. Is he the one that discusses the veil of ignorance?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So, and we'll get to that. Anybody who wants to, I guess, throw that out there or give their views.
I like that.
That's one of my favorite
Yeah.
Mine too.
perspectives.
Mine too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll start again this way. You get the hot seat, I'll sit in your chair, and then everybody feel free to attack, defend, just whatever you want. Or just kind of discuss.
We're
Make
kind
it
of like
peaceful.
dog baiting with philosophical ideas and just throwing a bunch of people at one guy. That's not cool, especially if he hasn't been here that often. He doesn't know what the hell's going on.
All right, I gotta get some more worksheets out there. And yeah, you don't have to literally attack or defend. Just
No,
permeate some
no.
discussion, if anything. Just.
That's funny.
Nice.
Okay, so you started the state of nature. Everybody feel free to ask questions to designate himself to building a sort of. Who's played Ages of Empire? Computer games where you pretty much build from scratch your society.
I've never played it.
I know Kelly has that. Well, you basically start being a little nomadic villager. Basically, with raw materials all around you. You got trees, you got berries, and there's other people too, mind you. So you don't speak the same language. So essentially, maybe the first thing you want to say would be, there's got to be a commonality in communication. So, I mean, you start off by saying how you're going to start building your own your roles. If you're even going to build roles, do you think you should have some sort of agreement between all of your